high level, this is a process training for a high level overview of our catering and events platform. In Toast, you'll see that there is a catering and events section. This is where we manage our private class bookings, catering, events, anything culinary related that we're booking. A couple of areas that we have: leads, orders, invoices, discussions. This flows through to your email. So this is like a CRM, customer relationship management tool. So you can see conversations that are happening with any internal May employees and an external client. So this makes it easy for if someone's on vacation or another manager or team member is helping the client, they can easily jump in and see what the history is with that client. So that's under discussions. There's a task function, so you can automate tasks depending on what the event or class is. So we have some task automation. For example, when a event gets confirmed, there's a set list of tasks that get attributed to that event. These can be updated and improved as you work in the system. There's also automations. We don't use the automations that much yet, but there's some cool new features. Again, create an automation for when order is, when order date is, when lead is. So let's see, when lead is, we could do something here. When lead form is submitted or disqualified, maybe when a lead form is submitted, create task. And this could be respond to email, something like that. So there's a lot of automation features that can be built out to help automate or send reminders for tasks you need to complete. Next up, we have our calendar. And in this calendar view, this shows everything that is being booked in the department. There, of course, are some settings. You can change the colors of things here if you are, or check with the department managers to make sure everyone's on the same page. We currently have this organized by customer name versus location, so we can easily see what type of event it is. And then this is connected to our Google Calendar. We have confirmed events that are connected to our May team calendar. This can be updated to here. If we wanted to eventually connect it, we can disconnect and connect to a new calendar. And here you can choose what dining options that are being automatically shown on that calendar. So we currently have confirmed class, catering. Catering, this is pickup. Catering, this is delivery. In the future, if we had a new event type like pop-ups of demos, festivals, and we created a new event type, we could also make that show up here. So that's the how to access and edit the calendar integration. Okay. In the calendar too, this is the view you'll probably be using the most, where you're looking at what's coming down the pipeline. One issue is we can't change the colors of confirmed events. So if you have a confirmed dumpling class versus a confirmed catering, you can't differentiate by color. What you can do is you can change the dining options here. So for example, if I only wanted to see catering in my view, I could remove all of these options here. This also shows all of our toast options and apply that. I can also change what I'm seeing here, all the different statuses. I do have disqualified unchecked for my view, leads that are lost, so I don't have those showing up on my calendar. All right, so in this view, I'm looking at only the catering bookings, so I can see what's coming down the pipeline. We also note in here any special events that are happening. You can just use the notes function to add that in for anything else we should note or be aware of what's happening during the month or the week. Over here under prep tools, this is super cool. Over here, this has a lot of tools and functionality as we continue to grow our volume, especially for catering, to create reports that show everything that needs to be cooked or made for the week. And so definitely dig in and work on the review the different reports that you can view. Customers is just customers, everyone in our database. This is kind of cool, how much money they spent with us. A lot of these are just for single classes, so we can see our top spends per classes of all time, or catering all time here. Settings over here, this is where you're going to edit the back end functionality of the culinary area you're managing. So you can see here, we currently have 3 order types: catering, class, and event. And underneath each of these subtypes, you can customize features for that area. So for classes, for example, I'm just going to go ahead and click in here. We can see these are some things that are critical for toast reporting. We call this gets assigned to our class. The default menu is our classes and events menu that shows up for this order type. And then this has already been configured to be mostly optimized for the platform, but you can continue to make changes in here. This is a super cool area, the form fields, where you can input special questions. And this is specifically, we have a lead form for our classes here. And in this lead form, we've created the questions that show up and what's required and not required here. And we can also make edits if we wanted a custom kitchen sheet in this area. So lots of functionality here. And this is where we configure our lead form. And this lead form is what shows up on our website. So here's our website where if you are interested in booking a class, currently you're going to hit inquire now, and it takes you to this toast lead form. Okay. And then some branding things over here, header, etc. This is where you can input your default contract. And this is our standard contract, which is the on-site class at May Dumpling. So this is the default contract. Read through this contract so you're familiar of our terms. And then when we do different types of catering or class events, for example, a virtual class contract, we keep these in Drive, and what you'll need to do is manually change these out. So for example, if I'm in Drive, there's a document called virtual class contracts. And within that, you'll be able to copy paste the other contract type. So virtual, I just do it this way: virtual class contracts, Here we go. These are our 2 types of virtual classes, and this is where you can find the contracts for that. Okay. And this is some notifications, who's getting notifications for different types of alerts here. All right, so that's our class section. And currently, again, we have our catering section. You can familiarize yourself with this is some fields that we have on our BEO forms. Super helpful to edit and change here if need be, notifications again, reporting, etc., to the correct revenue center. And then our last section that we have is events. So this is our pop-ups, demos, staffed events. So this is what this is an internal event management. So these events are organized by us. They're not, it's not an e-commerce transaction. A lot of times it's like a staff pop-up. Or a pop-up event where we're selling on site, but we're using Toast to create our estimates of product, location, and so we have this on our calendar here as well. All right, so that's the overview of our 3 event types, and definitely go into each section here so you can familiarize yourself with what setting capabilities are in each section.